It is March 12th, 2024. It's the meeting of the recycling committee. Committee members present. Jean Wyatt, David O'Connell, Vanessa Lavati, and Jean Landis-Nauman. And we're also graced with the presence of our superintendent of streets, trees, and parks, Paul Asler. Todd told me he would not be able to join us today. He's doing some sort of audit in Brockton.
Oh,
And I asked him if he had any words of wisdom for us, and he said he'd get back to me.
So did you call the meeting to order?
I have called the meeting to
What was
order.
that number?
Pardon?
9:05?
9:05, yeah. All right. We have lots of interesting things to talk about today. First thing we want to do is I need to announce this meeting is being recorded by PAC TV, and anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. No one's online and no one in the room has raised their hand. So we'll move on to the minutes of January 2nd, 2024 and February 6th, 2024. And Vanessa, thank you for doing such a nice job on our minutes, getting them out to us ahead of time.
I was very fortunate. The meeting was a week later.
That always helps. Yes, I did want to announce that we are now switching to the second Tuesday of the month. And hopefully that will allow Paul to be with us the majority of the meetings. You know, in the past, he's had, I guess there's a standing department head meeting the first Tuesday of each month. And we feel that Paul's input is so essential to the success of our committee. And we didn't hear from anyone that this second Tuesday didn't work. So.
Works for me. Until next month.
Till next month. Yes, Vanessa's already told us she's going to be stargazing next
I'm
month.
going up to the eclipse.
I am. Well,
So that's on Monday. I don't know where I'll be on Tuesday morning, and I don't know if I'll have connectivity, so we'll see.
Yeah, so we may not have Vanessa with us next month. Okay.
on the minutes for February.
Well, let's do January 1st.
Okay.
That's okay. So on January, I have a feeling I had to run out close to 10, so I don't have a when we adjourned. If some, Jean has that in the notes. I'm guessing it was somewhere right around 10 because I didn't meet someone at my house.
For January.
Yeah, I put
February.
question marks. Yeah, we're looking at January 1st.
Okay.
January. Before February.
We. No, I don't have. The time we adjourned.
Well, then it's still going on.
We did adjourn. I just don't know what time of the day it is. 10:49.
No, that's the next. Oh, was I wasn't here then. So 10:49.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just put that. All right.
Particularly chatty.
Well, no, it was the February one. We adjourned at 11:10.
Oh, you're even more chatty.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I didn't get any feedback on the January ones. So the only change to those will be the time of adjourning at 10:49. And then if we're going to move them together, Paul had a comment on the February ones. I wrote a new contract being negotiated. Where I heard that at 6 in the morning in San Diego, somewhere that came across the wire. So you said it was 2026 we're up?
2029.
2029. So, but why would we talk about projecting costs of what bids are and what was being talked about there that I might preface that?
I don't know.
Of course you don't. You weren't even here. Oh, yeah, you were. And then this is when you were here.
Let's see if I have anything on it.
I know that the SSRC was looking for a hauling contract.
I think that's what we were talking about was SSRC.
Yes. See, he's looking for.
Yeah, she was,
What else did they do?
yeah, trying to renew contracts for various types of
For a new
services.
contract. With CMAS.
I don't think it was CMAS, I think it was hauling services.
Right, so there's some transfer stations that sub out their trash hauling to third-party vendors.
All right, but these were
We-
CMAS rates then, I think,
Yeah, they're pretty
for
close.
points of comparison.
Yeah,
All right, so SSR is looking for vendor or a contract.
For a hauling vendor for certain transfer stations.
How does that work? So a private hauler comes in and picks up the trash and takes it away? Is that
There's a
what that
third-party
means?
vendor, you're right, not a private hauler. Well,
Well, they are. They're
Yeah.
fine.
but they have a contract.
like we use a guy, his name is Sean. I forget what his last name is, he'll come in before the other meeting. When our track is broken down, we call him up and say, we need you to haul our trailers. So he hauls the trailers for us when our stuff is broken. There are some, and I think Hingham might be one where they don't have employees haul. They don't have the tractor to haul their trailers. They bring a third party in to haul their trailers.
I know Hanover does.
And so there's a couple of our towns that do that.
Mhm.
What do they have? They must have some sort of a charge or system where they can charge for wait time. I mean, isn't that a fact? I mean, to me, that's a major factor.
When the guy does it for us, it's from the time he shows up at my transfer station until the time he comes back with the last trailer.
So it's on a time basis.
It is.
It's a flat rate.
Whatever it is per hour.
Yeah.
He's sitting at CMAS for an hour or two, he's sitting at CMAS for an hour or two.
Okay, so it's an hourly rate.
Depending on
Well,
what the
that's,
wait
that
time
was,
is. Now,
that was really.
if you get there early, because when he comes in, the guy that I reuse, he'll come in at 5 o'clock in the morning for a trail, so he tries to get down there before the rush gets in. But sometimes he can help, it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm. Plus, that way he can do more than one channel too.
Yeah. I mean, now that we have a roll-off roll-off truck, we don't need him to haul our roll-off trailer with the recycling. Use our own roll-off truck.
Okay, so we've got the minutes of January 2nd and February 6th. Do we have a motion
Make a motion
to approve?
to approve the meeting minutes from January 2nd and February 6th.
With minor corrections.
Hmm?
With minor corrections.
Yes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so it's 4-0.
Thank you, everyone. Don't talk so much next time.
Okay, so that brings us up to today's agenda. Paul, put you up front, just in case you had something else you needed to do later, so what can you?
Yeah,
tell
at
us?
10:30, I have a Zoom meeting with Siemens.
Okay.
We'll talk about their spring stuff. You want to talk about your swap shop stuff?
Well, do you have anything in particular you wanted to tell us about anything that's happening at the transfer station or?
Well, I would start on your report because it says update from Paul, new signage for the RDC. Please don't roll off my tongue today.
Recycling debris sign?
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, Paul and I met.
That don't.
Oh, so hard to not do that. Anyways, and we're gonna continue to meet. We bantered back ideas. There's too many words, is not useful, not enough words, doesn't help. The flux of things are changing all the time. I've asked if he can hook me up with some other transfer stations to just kind of look at what they're putting in their recycling area. So to do so, I would do some field trips. doing all the traveling. Yeah, do you have connections in Kansas? Anyway, so we're acting on it. We don't
Okay.
have a finished results, but we will continue to work together on it. And I think that meeting of the minds, and who knows, by the time they go to press, they might be right for a period of time.
There you go.
So thank you, Paul, for the time, and I look forward to continuing to work with you on it.
Okay, Household Hazardous Waste Day for Kingston, Duxbury, and Pembroke is June 8th. And I do believe it's gonna be held in Duxbury this year. As everybody should be aware, April is the first month of brush chipping. The third Saturday in April, we'll start accepting brush at the transfer station.
What is April's? The third Saturday, you said? Okay. That's gonna be April vacation for people.
Pretty much. That would be April 20th, Earth Day. Actually, speaking of Earth Day, I've been in touch with the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, who has sent stuff on social media about Beautify Kingston again, which is have volunteers, get some bags, some gloves, go pick up some trash around town. So if anybody needs information for that, they can reach out to Mrs. Zemberg on her own. Get information on that.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything. Where did you put it?
You know, I thought it was on Facebook.
For what? What Facebook page?
It's awful. We need an official.
That's a good question.
Okay,
Kingston or not, Kingston locals maybe?
okay, because I,
Apparently,
Yes.
there's quite a few different Kingston Facebook pages.
yeah, there are. Okay. So that's also gonna be on the 20th?
The weekend of the 20th, she's asking for people to do that.
Okay.
We had a decent, I mean, we had some turnout last year.
Mm-hmm. I think if you do it consistently, you get more people on board because then they know this is what we're gonna do every year.
But like Vanessa said, is, it is school vacation week, so
Yeah.
sometimes, most of the people leave vacations. And,
Mhm. Yeah.
if you guys went up to the transfer station, you have noticed that the old swap shop is officially gone. It served us well. It was great while it lasted. But it has been put into the C&D, into the scrap metal can, and some of the metal cans, it's gone. So I don't know if you guys saw your emails last week or 2 weeks ago from Jean Landis about the idea of putting a new swap shop up there. Up a shed. Well, it just so happens that 2 days after she sent that email out, I got an email from DEP. And in their 2024 grant guidelines and for their sustainable material recovery program, they are offering a drop-off equipment or a refuge swap shop. A purchase of a shed or other enclosed structure to store material for reuse. All municipalities are eligible. The maximum water amount will be $6,000.
Is it competitive or and as many apply can get it?
Not sure on that. I know that years ago we got one for the Mercury shed. From the same type of thing, so look where we put all our Mercury products, that shed came from the brands. Gene sent the email out with a 12 by 16 shed. Which, as everybody's aware of, is a little smaller than the old swap shop that we had. The old swap shop, I think, was 8 by 30, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was a little longer than 30. but
It might have
perhaps
been.
you're Right.
So I think something that, this committee should discuss is, A, do we proposing to get a swap shop shed? B, who's gonna maintain a swap shop shed? And C, is a 16 by 12 swap shop shed big enough?
No, but what, because it's on the pavement, if we put a covered roof over, then we would have outdoor space too.
No,
We don't want
because,
any outdoor space.
no, because we will show up and there will be tons of shit sitting there.
Well,
Debris,
they put it
debris.
inside too. I mean,
Now, the only time people can bring stuff is when it's open and we have an attendant there to monitor what's coming in.
in the future, because that wasn't in the past.
Right. We learned our lesson. You do not allow just access without somebody being there. Because we spent more time cleaning it out and throwing stuff away than we did maintaining. it. So it was, in the sheds that I looked at, if you don't mind, I'll just jump in here. The sheds that I looked at, I sent you links to look at the sheds. This company seemed to be pretty reputable. And the construction is pretty good. I'll go over the construction, Paul, you know more about whether, and David as to whether or not it sounds solid, but the reason I wanted to go with something a little smaller is number one, we had way too much stuff. It was way too difficult to take care of it, to monitor, to clean it out. Obviously, it'll get a little better if we have someone there all the time monitoring what's, what's going in to it. But I don't think we need it that big. I would like to consider reducing the types of things that go in there. We thought it'd be great for the youth to have used sports equipment, but what we found is that a lot of this used sports equipment is no longer safe to be used. We have a lot of old skis and ski boots that could not be reused. We got a lot of deflated balls, worn out cleats.
And it's stinky
One-
stuff. It's
Yeah,
so
it was-
stinky.
It was filthy.
Yeah,
It's just
one
sweat.
glove,
Yeah.
one glove, hockey glove. It just, it wasn't really what we thought it would be with good usable. And what happens now is if you've got good usable sports stuff, you sell it to a sports store. There's a lot of reused sports stores around, or you sell it to someone else on the next team. I know this from personal experience with my grandson. All his sports equipment, it either gets resold to another team member or it goes to a sports store. So the stuff we were ending up with was pure junk and took up a lot of space. And we spent a lot of time dragging it over to the dump, to the trash containers. So I would like to just eliminate the sports equipment.
We'd get points if we could work with like rec to set up days to do sports
No.
swap stuff.
No, be,
And there's no incentive for us to try and get that kind of
no,
recycling done.
no, unless you're willing to do it, Vanessa, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
And I don't think I'd put books in there.
I think we could probably do a few, but again, curated. Not every book that everybody decides they want to get rid of.
We should just bring them to the library.
No, when's the last time the library accepted books?
Oh, they're not accepting? I don't know.
The last time I tried to donate, I was told, no, we're not taking any books. No.
Because Savers always takes books, but then we also have the bins in there. And I think if we could advertise what some of their services are, although I worry how weatherproof they are. And once you put books in there and the rain blows in, all the books are shot.
Where?
Like Got Books and whoever else
Oh, yes.
takes those. I mean, they're good services if the books really make it to them intact.
Well, I think Bay State Books.
Do we have a container for them? out
We
there
do.
now?
Yeah,
But
and
I
we
mean, to
actually get
encourage
money
for
from
that.
them.
Mhm.
We get money from them for those.
Yeah, and I think to be able to, have some signage or some information, why do we have all of those and where do we benefit and where to, to donate books to Got Books and that it's helping at-risk youth
Yeah.
learn some career vocational skills and stuff. You might choose to do that and you might say these books are appropriate for that kind of thing. these things are just gonna be recycled anyways, whatever, but I think to know what the difference of all of those are and the fact that one of them gives us money and others don't.
Mhm.
But books are just so cumbersome and so, I mean, people smoke, then the books all stink like smoke. People have animals and the animals are all in the books. They have, and so you've got such a mix of who takes care of their books, how they take care of them, how old they are. Oh, they're valuable to them, but nobody else is gonna
I know,
want
well,
them.
that's fine, we're gonna
And
have
so
someone.
I
at
kind of
the
agree
door.
with Paul if we
Yeah.
could redirect those.
Yeah, nothing's gonna go in that isn't really usable. That's gonna be our goal, by having gatekeepers.
But that's
basically.
again where we have to say, here's the list. You can put kitchenware, but it can only be this. You can put,
Mhm.
and
We
I
did
don't
that.
even know if baby stuff should go in there.
We did that before, Vanessa.
I know,
Flew
but-
right through it,
Right.
you know.
But I mean, if you're making it smaller, leaner and meaner, then we have to really stick to that list and know that, no, that's, if you
And
say
that's why-
books, you say books.
That's
Oh,
why we're gonna have volunteers to
Right.
monitor what goes in.
But I mean, Jean's thinking, oh, there's not enough room for everything, and you're saying, oh, no, we're leaner and meaner, so we have to
Yeah.
figure out what that meaner
You know,
is.
Well, this,
No, I'm not even interested, Jean. I've told you that.
no,
I do not want to drive through Quonset hut. It has to have plenty of.
well, there's
width.
different shapes, doesn't have to be a Quonset.
I don't want a garage door. I want a door that you can close to the weather, you know? Something like that, it would have to be open the whole time.
Well, these have like the small doors, so you can put them anywhere,
I see that,
windows
Jean.
and
How much real
skylights.
estate you giving us down there?
Well,
Has to be decided.
and this would need all kinds of foundation, Jean. The sheds that I'm looking at come complete. The only thing they need is a bed of crushed stone. That's all they need. You don't have to have any other infrastructure to accommodate them. I know this is what you've always pushed on, but Jean, I've given you multiple times my objections to that sort of buildings. I want something that it doesn't look like a warehouse. I want something that looks like a New England building with a nice door, lots of windows, nice shelving inside. We've
You
got-
can't have lots of windows because you need the wall space.
Exactly, but look what we did in the other one. We had it,
Well, we did, if there's,
if you kept the back wall solid, and then we put the shelving in
so it's perpendicular. to the outside.
perpendicular, yeah. That way you've got all the light coming in from both sides as well as the front. To eliminate what's in there, and it's only gonna be open like from 9 to 3 on the weekends, that's it. And with someone there all the time in attendance, that's the only thing I haven't figured out is we'll have to have a spot for whoever is volunteering at the moment, so they can sit down, and because if we start opening, say in April, it's still gonna be a little
It's
cool,
chilly.
little foolish. We've been running into October, again, it can be a little coolish. Not planning on having any electricity, heat, cooling, it's just gonna be what it is. It would be nice to have an electrical outlet for a fan or something, but just for when it's hot and sticky, but I know Paul.
Just trying to figure out how we could do that.
We'll have a little solar thing on the roof and it can only be open when the sun is shining. No,
All right.
kidding.
So, the name of the group is Cloter Farms, Kloter Farms. They're in Connecticut. And what I was looking at was the Garden Classic Cape Shed. They have either garden style or signature style. Comes with a 10-year warranty. The windows are aluminum, come with screens, so we can open them. A standard door. I was looking at the 12 by 16, which is around 7,000. For each additional window we put in, it's $90, which is, not a big deal. It has a cape roof, asphalt shingles. They suggest 3/4 crushed stone pad. It's all pressured wood, 3/4 inch plywood. 2x4 on the floor every 12 inches. 4x4 runners. They do need a $50 wide permit to bring it up. There's no other delivery cost. They will bring it from Connecticut.
$50, that's not bad.
No, they're about 5 weeks out. And she said, we can pick out the siding. The one she recommended, she said, you just probably have to touch up the paint every 7 to 9 years. So there would be some maintenance.
What's the dimensions?
That was a 12x16.
They were all about the same size. weren't they?
12x12, 12x14, 12x16.
So that's the
I think there was a 12x18.
Go back to the floor. You said it's 2x4 construction?
3/4 inch plywood
Yeah,
with
that part.
the cross beams.
2x4
12 inches on center.
every 12 inches.
Does that sit on the ground?
No, crushed stone.
On the crushed stone.
Well, I think, excuse me.
Yeah.
But so it sits right on the stone.
It's probably pressure treated 2x.
Yeah, it's all pressure treated, she said. And do you know
So
what
that gives it
4x4
the structural
runners?
stability, so.
I mean, it's not-
Not bouncing around.
You'll be bouncing a little, it's only 2x4, but
That's
you're not gonna put a lot of weight on it. either.
Well, no, that's true enough. I'm just-
Right.
I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
about,
I
I was
mean-
thinking about longevity, durability.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff we're gonna be putting in there and it isn't as heavy as what a homeowner would be putting in there with a.
No, sure enough,
lawnmower
but,
and a
you know,
snow
you've got-
blower.
You still got weight. You
Yeah,
get- You get 5 people into it at the same time, and the average weight would be what? It's like,
1,000 pounds.
what is the, yeah, exactly. What is the average weight these days?
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought they looked the nicest. I thought the construction sounded decent. What do you think, Paul?
I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, it's a shed.
Sure.
It's a shed.
Yeah,
Once you go beyond that, you're really getting into the dollars.
well, you really don't need to go beyond.
I don't think so. I mean, people that have swap shop, it's a tiny little shed. You open the doors for the day and you close them. That's it, So I don't think we need the monster that we had. I mean, I was grateful that we got that. That was a donation from the town, basically, to have it. But now that we know what this community thinks is recyclable. Good morning, Everett. How you doing? I think we can reduce the size, which will help us in maintaining it. On a weekly basis as far and having a volunteer there will certainly help.
That would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge.
And what I was thinking is coming up with a colored dot system so that we know when something comes in and if it's been there more than 2 or 3 months, it goes to Savers or someplace else, just to keep the inventory turned over and to make sure we have space for new stuff coming in. So those were my thoughts. Certainly, I'm not the one making this decision. on my
Well, I think given our experience, I mean, relative to what goes in, for example, glass. Look at all the little, bunch of junk, so how do you, so somebody, we got, in other words, yeah, there has to be a limit on certain things, absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It just takes up
Yeah,
too much
10
space and it
different
doesn't,
kinds
and
of
it
shot
doesn't,
glasses, probably need them.
doesn't rotate you.
But if we could have some sort of color rotation system, just a
That-
little,
That's a good
you can
idea.
get the little press on
Right.
dot colors and, just pick a color for each month and then, 2 months later, that stuff's still sitting there while the volunteer's there. If they're not busy, they can start going through and pulling out the stuff that's old.
And yeah, I would love to see a list of stuff that's going to be donated. I would love to see a list of volunteers before we even think about ordering the
Well,
shed.
we have force. Hopefully they're still with us. We're only open for 6 hours on Saturday, 6 hours on Sunday. That's 12 hours. If each of them can do 2 hours, one day, then we would need 6 total. And I think a couple of alternates, because obviously some people aren't gonna be able to commit every week, which I understand. And certainly, I'd be willing to put in a couple of hours too, so. I think it would be doable, if we reduce the hours, we reduce the signs. We monitor what goes in, because the signage didn't work.
Oh, no.
No, the honor system doesn't work.
With signs everywhere, outside, inside. It didn't work. People in their minds thought they had something that could be reused. Sunday, I finally got to go to the transfer station as a ride along. And up by the trash things, people starting to leave stuff again. There was this fan, rusted beyond belief. And it was sitting there. Somebody thought that could be reused by someone. So that's why I think we have to help them in understanding what really can be reused by someone else. As opposed to their own judgment. I think some people just have trouble letting go of stuff. I'm not sure why. I mean, you get a rusted pan. It's like the rusted cake pans. And really, you can't use them. Why would somebody else be able to use them? So I think it's an education process. And I do think the volunteers will require a little bit of training. Number one, to understand our mission and what can be recycled, and also how to politely decline donations.
Can redirect them. With a set of where they can be
Absolutely.
redirected.
If it is something that could be reused by someone, but not something we want in our swap shop, we could redirect. Absolutely.
Maybe we can make like a little handout and let people know about like the homeless shelter and savers and.
Well, we could have I think a poster on the wall, I'm not a big fan of producing paper. But, and if there's someone there monitoring what's going in and out, they can say, here's a list of other places you can consider donating your item. We have to come up some terminology, not acceptable, not really reusable.
How much was that shed?
That was a little under 7. I think it was a little over 7,000, which is a lot less than we had talked about. Any idea on how much crushed stone that would require and the cost on that? I mean, would we
Minimal.
more than 1,000 or no? Okay, all right. And we could get a little assistance and
I heard
Getting it situated.
Gene and Dave are good with rakes,
okay.
shovels.
Yeah.
Wheelbarrows.
I'm really good with the shovel meaning.
Shoveling in?
Yeah, that's,
Meaning, when you shovel.
Oh, okay.
yeah, once we decide what the location is going to be, that's the problem.
Yeah. So when Paul and I talked this week, it seems like maybe where the old swap shop was located might be the best, because there is room for a few cars there that would not be in the way of people transversing the entire.
That wasn't really much of an instruction, was it?
No, and it's still close to the recycle bins.
Yes.
So when we have to clean it out, we had originally thought about putting it up top, but then
You have to drive back around if stuff is going into recycling, because I think the education there is a great, so then you say, no, all those fabric things can go into the base state, and
Right.
oh, all those metal things can go over here, and so you're kind of all in that proximity. It's kind of a walk, and on Saturday and Sunday is a dangerous walk.
No, I agree, would be education for people to know what other bins are there, where things could go properly.
I think in terms of size, if you're gonna have you want a place for someone to be able to sit, which is important. You might want to consider the bigger.
How big?
Well, what is the biggest? one?
12 by 18 is the next
Okay.
size.
12 by 18.
And how much is that one?
It was
That
like
should be less.
$7,800 or something. That was,
Well, I think it would probably be under 10,000. It's just 2 more feet.
but now that this, the funding, well, some of the funding could be available to this from DEP, it kind of helps us.
Well, plus, I did ask for a current status on how much money we have, and we currently are sitting on $20,860. Plus the
I should
other
get-
4,000 from
You get the $6,000 grant that's just been approved.
84. That one, that's included in the
Oh,
20,000.
it is.
Yeah, I wanted to see when that was um, put in our account. And that came, I wish I could read these things better. 12/29. 23 is when that 8,400 was added to our account. So we're currently at 20,860, plus we have a little over 4,000 in the CMAS grant still remaining, so. And if we could get a $6,000 grant towards this, that means maybe 4,000 or 5,000 out of our accounts would still leave us with a significant amount. You know, and even if we don't get the $6,000 grant, we could still manage and still have significant amount.
What does one need to do to qualify for that?
Just apply.
Yeah, well, it says that we should probably talk to the person down there in charge of that, and for this stuff we're looking at is Michaelia Google me. Google. So I can reach out to her and say that we're looking at maybe trying to get the funding for it. Swap shop. Good.
Yeah, I put a call into Todd, who didn't call me back, but I wanted to know if he thought, you know, this was gonna be a competitive grant, or if all you had to do was apply.
On the 10th of April, there's gonna be a webinar about when it's information is needed.
And what's the deadline for the grant?
April 1st is the opening of the grant. The 10th is the grant information webinar. And the grant closes on June 12th. So we have time to look at this.
But the reason I wanted to get started talking about it is, you know, if this is the direction we want to go, you know, it would be a great time because there is this grant available, which had not been available for some time. And also, if we're going to do anything for a handout, when people get their stickers this year, now's the time for us to decide in order, because there is some delay, not only in getting, they have to have the money before they send us the product, which means we have to go through the whole town process of getting a check out to them. And, you know, we already, you know, if we go with the insulated bags again, they already know we have the design down. There's nothing, you know, all she has to do is just reorder them. But we still have to go through the process of getting the invoice here and then having the town pay it, and then they start manufacturing and then the shipping and all that. So in order to have stuff here for June 1st, right, is when you start, you know, now is kind of the time for us to decide if we're going to do something like that this year. And that's why I wanted to have this discussion about the swap shop, because that's certainly a major factor in what we would plan on doing with our money this year. Jean, thoughts? I know your heart's set on your concept.
Well, say it again, that the objective is to remove as much material from the waste stream as possible. And in my humble opinion, the trailer thing was trinkets. That I don't think that really removed a lot of material from the waste stream. And the thing with this, if we had a Model X, it would be good for snow load because of the shape of it, or the cube. And it's like, it's so much bigger. It's either 25 by 13 by 26, or you can get 28 by 16 by 32. So there's be a lot more space. And
Or what do you envision going in that space?
Well, I'd see like a lot of furniture and stuff like that, and that has weight, and we have to pay to get rid of it. We have to put it in and crush it or whatever. So it just seems like that's something, and try to establish a relationship with different places so that anything that isn't taken within a material, like a period of time, we'd have relationships with different places that would either come and take it, or because it seemed like the last day we had the other one, then there was no shortage of people willing to come with a pickup truck. And
Well, I think that was thanks to Vanessa. She got in touch with that particular group. But as you saw, we had maybe half a dozen residents come that day. That was it. You know, I hear what you're saying, Jean, and I think it's admirable to want to try and take that much stuff out of the stream. However, I think as Vanessa said, we can direct people to a place that might be better suited to handle bigger items such as savers or even the
Restore.
restore.
Yeah.
They're always looking for good use furniture. And of course, that goes towards Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, I would definitely want to avoid getting furniture.
It's a lot more to manage.
It can be so disgusting. People like, she's saying rusty pans. I'm just like, your cat, your cigarettes, your, incontinent relative, your whatever, you get rid of that.
And not all furniture is really reusable.
And just, what's the price on the one you're looking at?
so the smaller one is 7,000, the bigger one is 10. So if you take the 10, that 6 from DEP, so that leaves 4, we've got 20,000 minus 4, and plus we have what's in the CMAS account, and then the new money coming in from the grant this year. So to me, money is not the issue. It's,
More
And-
the size and the aesthetics, I think.
Well, that's $7,000 to buy it. Then you gotta put it together. Who's putting it together? And that's not for the concrete pad.
That's right. Yeah, you could have some.
You have to have a drive-in, drive-out, so it's gotta be
You
somewhere
don't-
that's
you don't-
located that
you
you
don't-
got in and out.
You don't want to drive.
I really don't think.
No, I think that's a big mistake.
It's a whole different ballgame from what I think this small committee can manage. I think we have to be realistic about what we can manage.
well,
If we had a huge volunteer group, this might be the way to go, but I'm not sure that we can manage it.
I'm retired, and if we went with something like this will be my baby, and I'll take care of it. You guys don't have to do anything
We
unless
have
you
it
want to.
recorded.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that for the trinket shop, but if you want to go with the bigger one, I would definitely do that. And I've looked at software that you can use for volunteer scheduling. I have all the swap shop rules and regulations from every swap shop on the South Shore.
Well, what does Duxbury use for their swap?
I think they had an outside
They
one,
do.
right? And
Which is mind-boggling to me. I mean, I've only been to it once, and the stuff that I saw sitting there, I thought, how does it survive the next rainstorm?
Well, does it?
It does.
You don't-
So then it all gets thrown away
Yeah.
the next day,
Okay.
which is why I thought, if we're going with the smaller one and we want more space, you can put a covered thing, and even to your whole situation, no, you can put chain link fence around all of that, but at least then we have this sort of sorting area or whatever that things aren't always all inside. I don't know. I mean, it's just, when it was said it was too small, I just thought, but we have that, it's all paved already. And so in case some other part of it, then you've got, like, oh, on Sunday, we're just gonna put a bunch of stuff out as people come by. They don't have to go into this little shed, 3 of them at a time and try to look at what's there.
You're talking
I
about a
know,
lot
I
of
know,
work,
I know.
Vanessa. Believe me, I
Not
spent,
as much as him.
I spent 2 years babysitting our swap shop.
Yeah, I
It
would go
was
down there
intense.
Wednesdays pretty
It was
regularly.
very intense.
And try to rehome a lot of that stuff. I mean, a whole collection of French books. I'm calling French teachers at different schools. I'm like, these are beautiful, beautiful books in French language, we only want textbooks. So terrible for your students. Let them have a real book. But they have shortages of space and management and, they don't want to pile in their classroom. But no one was there when they all got dropped off and they were beautiful. I think they went to Savers because, well, some got parsed out. Different people wanted them for different, whatever reasons, but it took forever to get rid of those French books.
Yeah, but I was there almost 20 hours a week. And so
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I'm not
Sorry.
planning
You
on-
win.
on doing that in the future. And it was mostly to get rid of stuff that really shouldn't have
Stuffed
been
animals
there to
and other
begin
stuff
with.
that shouldn't have been there.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
that's
one
why-
box was just, at the bottom was a huge plastic bag filled with shredded paper. Yeah, it was just crap that people were trying to get rid of. And instead of thinking about, well, really, would somebody else be able to reuse this? It was just, I want to get rid of it. And they would just throw it in the door. David and his son built beautiful shelving. We had it all clearly marked, and we tried very hard to keep it organized. They would just throw the boxes in the door and walk away.
And I unpacked a bunch of them and put them where they would fit and got rid of the
So,
stuff that
you
was
know,
there
I think-
wrong.
It really educated me as to what is doable, what.
There has to be somebody in attendance. We
And I
gotta-
think that was the first.
That's the key,
First
right there.
conclusion we came to is that you really do have to have an attendant who is helpful and can direct material somewhere else that's not appropriate. Educate people on what really is reusable, what's not reusable. Explain all the various bins we have that are town as well as the private bins.
And if the other thing is if there's a different level of quality overall, it's gonna be, people will flock to it. I mean, it was pretty busy as it was, but.
Yeah.
But there was just so much junk.
There was.
Oh, God, it's
There
horrible.
was. So I think control is really gonna be important to keeping it maintained and, as you say, attractive for people to not only bring things, but to come in and look at things.
Flower boxes, little garden,
You know,
coffee maker.
lots of picture frames
electricity.
that had, broken glass and.
When you start getting
Yes.
appliances, that's, because
Yeah, I
we
know.
we charge for the TV. Well, you know what? If I have this TV, I can bring it to the swap shop.
And,
No way
you're
testing
right.
And I
No,
feel
no,
that way
no.
with the furniture too. What, it cost me $12, 15 bucks, 10, 20 bucks to get rid of this. I'll just put it in the swap shop.
Then, when you talk about furniture, you're talking about dresses, the wooden stuff, you're talking about sofas, fabrics. and-
Yeah, you don't want furniture.
Yeah.
You just
yeah,
don't
I
want
just
Well,
think
furniture.
that's
it's a
why-
whole different ballgame to manage, and I personally am not really in favor. of
No,
doing
and
that.
then, if somebody has pets with fleas or bed bugs and you're bringing that in there and you gotta be careful, as we know, we have a history with this stuff already.
Yeah, but we're not really set up to handle it.
Yep.
We really aren't to sanitize and all of that, which I think is probably what Restore.
Restore, the Savers probably does that stuff.
Yeah.
The capacity.
I don't think we really want to get
I know.
into that. That's far beyond just a simple solution. So, I don't want to burst your bubble, Jean, but honestly, I think it might work in a bigger community. I think for our little committee in our little community, a very small shed is probably gonna suffice for now. If we find, in 8 or 10 years that it's not working.
Well, if the demand is there or the amount of volunteers, say,
Yeah.
Bill, we'll help you.
Yeah.
But like I said, we went down that road with what we had
Mm.
and it got away from us.
Mm.
Something that big?
Mm.
Hey, like I said, although it's short money, then you gotta build it, you gotta put a pad on, we're gonna put electricity in it. Now you're talking 20, 30, 40 grand.
But even if we're not thinking about the money, we're thinking, you're
Well-
one person and you're not gonna be the one person that can do it all, and you're not gonna be able to do it all forever. And so we're really
No,
looking
it's-
for teams.
It's all about getting the volunteers set up.
It is.
The place I'm thinking, it's the way they manage it, they probably have like 8 or 10 volunteers at any one time. People pull up, they decide what goes in there and what doesn't. So if you see a flea bitten couch or whatever, you're like, no, that goes over there in the dumpster. Not, so you can reject it. So that part of it is done up front. And with this, you can shut the door, lock it. People can't leave, just go in there and leave crap, whenever they want. So it's managed. The people who do the volunteer, a lot of times you can get people to volunteer because they figure they get first shot at it, right? There's a lot of good stuff that goes through and
Yeah.
it's a waste.
Yeah.
So
But we had one. You had the information, you had the software. We didn't have any volunteers. So what's the difference between the old one and the new one volunteer was?
And I. think-
Because like she said, it was you, her, and him. That
I
was it.
think having a smaller facility will also attract people because they're not gonna have. And I think something like this would be overwhelming for, some of the volunteers that I know have said they would help. They're just looking to kind of be there and help people decide what's appropriate, what's not.
I see the strong sentiment against it, so I can take it in. So
Well, I just
I'll
think
let go
it's-
of the dream.
Well,
So it's
like
all,
I
it's
say,
all right.
Jean, I
It's
think
all right.
in a bigger community, this might work. I just don't think from past experience here that I think it could end up being a real disaster for us, which would put a black eye, not only on our committee, but also in the town. So I'd rather start small. And if I'm not sure the lifespan, it has a 10-year warranty. Which I thought was interesting, a 10-year warranty. So, if after 10 years, whoever's on this committee decides that they want to go big, they want to do something different. But I think I personally want something I know I can manage.
And I mean, I know you said something about money, but we're realistic here.
It is about money, but
is
if
about
we
money.
took that out of the equation, we're still looking at this very, very large task that we
Yes.
have to figure out how, so money is an issue, but if we put that aside, the other issue is the management of
The
this
volunteer.
very large facility, which is accepting a lot more things that we might not know about.
Well, the other thing is restricting the hours is really important too, because then you know.
And advertising what they
you're
are,
not-
so
and,
people-
well, in addition to which, you're not dependent on so many volunteers. So it's easier
Right.
to fill the space. so to speak,
And there'll be a big
volunteer
sign out
space.
front that said, anything left outside will be thrown away.
Well, if you have a volunteer doing this, well. the
No,
other
when
thing,
no
when
one's
it's
there, they'll do
closed,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that.
But also-
Somebody shows
Your
up
guys
on
just have
Monday
to
night
say,
and
"Don't
they've
leave
got
anything
stuff
in."
for the swap shop and it's not open, they just put it in front of the door. Well,
Especially if it's furniture and all that stuff that they have to pay to throw
Yeah.
away.
Because I had originally thought, oh, it'd be really nice to have like a little overhang or something, especially if it's a warm day, the volunteer can sit out there and then I go, oh no. Oh no, we will end up with piles and piles and piles of stuff. Because, okay, it's protected, so I can just leave it here. And I don't want any volunteer to have to show up with, a couple dozen boxes of stuff that they have to go through and figure out what they're gonna do with it. I just don't think that's a good way to run this type of show. David? Thoughts?
No, I think, I think we've kind of said everything that needs to be said, quite frankly. It's a matter of control and size is important. And I'd like I would be nice if we were open the way it was previously when the transfer station is open, but it's not realistic.
Well,
And-
it
and
just
again,
didn't work. It just.
No, it didn't work. And the biggest thing too is, not only did we get a lot of junk, but the people just got in the habit of leaving stuff outside.
Yeah, they didn't.
And, and if that's discouraged, and, once, it's like writing on the wall, in the men's room. keep it clean. People don't write on it. Once you let it go,
And, yeah.
2 days later, you got a wall full of graffiti. I think I have a little experience there.
As the cleaner or the writer?
No, I never, you know what, I never ever did. I'm not into that sort of thing. I don't like to deface things to begin with, and I think that's defacing things. And plus, it's rude and crude.
All right, so going forward,
Mhm.
like I said, it's gonna be up to the 4 years. Unless somehow we start getting volunteers, hey, we're thinking about getting a swap shop again. Who's gonna volunteer
That's
for
it. That's
a
it.
certain period of time? And as we know, when spring and summer comes here,
Mhm.
minds go to vacations and other things other than sitting at a 90-degree swap shop in the middle of summer. I don't wanna get this shed and then, oh, by the way, now we have to close it. We can't keep managing it.
Yeah, and as I talked to you, Paul, about the Black Earth thing, I'm thinking we will have a push button lock on the door so that when a volunteer shows up, they'll have the code, they can unlock it, when they're done. If there's no one behind them, they close the door. So if there's not a volunteer for Sunday morning from
not
9 to
it's not-
11,
it's
it's not
open.
open. It's just not open. It's, and a big sign there saying closed due to lack of volunteers.
It's a good way to elicit help.
Yeah,
That's true. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I do think people need to understand that it takes more than just the 4 of us.
And that it's not you guys doing it.
No,
Like, why can't you
No.
guys be doing this if you're here?
No,
This is a
no, no, no.
recycling
No.
committee, a totally independent volunteer,
Yeah.
whatever, and if you want to volunteer, contact them. But it's,
it was supposed to be standalone.
yeah,
Now, my guys kept an eye on it and they shut.
They
it
did.
down.
They
They were-
did.
well,
They
they
were
were
very
terrific.
helpful.
They were terrific.
They were very helpful, but
but that model didn't work.
but it's our responsibility as a committee to take care of it. I don't think we can ask Paul and his staff to take care of it. It's enough that we're given permission to have it there. I think.
I don't know if somebody wants to get in front of open forum at a selectmen's meeting. And say, hey, we're thinking about this, the volunteers, or
No, I don't think I want to do that way. I think once we move forward, then we'll start soliciting volunteers.
okay.
Once we have a date for getting it set up and everything. I think what I need to know at this meeting is whether or not to pursue this particular company and shed. If you have another company locally that you would recommend, I'd be happy to look at them. I just happened to see them advertised in Yankee magazine, and it looked like a pretty solid product. And that was why I called and got all the specifics so that people who are familiar with building would know whether or not it seemed to be.
Do you know
worth
where
the
they
money.
are in Connecticut?
I didn't write it down, David, but I could get it for you. Right off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of
That's all
the
right.
town that they're in. The woman was extremely helpful. Very,
Does
very.
she know we're gonna
friendly.
put junk in her shed?
Huh?
Does she know we're gonna put junk in her shed?
I mean, the Mercury shed we got from a grant a couple years ago is decent quality. It's not a Reeves Ferry shed that you'd have by your pool, but
Well, hate to compromise.
Who's the other one? Walpole, but they're not
well,
local.
hold down. There's a place down on 28 Families Associates. When I was trying to build mine, I went down and got some ideas.
I think I drive by that, yeah. So the other thing is, what would turnaround time be if we could get the high school program to do it? And what would that cost be? Too long?
We might see it in our lifetime, because they get a lot of press.
Do they?
They're in Ellington, Connecticut, which is. Hey, Google. Google Maps. I hate Google Maps. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. They try and inject themselves into everything you do. I hate it. It's like, no, I don't want you. Go away.
You don't have to. Look at it. It's just,
Well,
the reason I
They're
asked,
in Ellington, Connecticut,
The
and
reason
it's
I
on
ask you-
140. Do you know, are
No,
you
I don't.
familiar with?
because I occasionally get down into Connecticut. I just thought it'd be nice to have a look at the shed before it's in.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to go with someone and take a look at the sheds.
I mean, if they get, if they got a 10-year warranty, I mean, that's,
I think that
That's-
says something for the
yeah,
product.
I think so.
I'm not sure you get a 10-year warranty from Lowe's or Home Depot in their sheds. I mean, I've looked at theirs.
Different quality.
Yeah, I think so.
Even though 12 inches on center is better than 16. But 2x4s for the floor seems a little light. I mean, I know it's got 3/4 inch plywood too, and if they're screwed, it's gonna.
Well, if they warranty, yeah, I agree with you, but if they're warrantying it for 10 years, I don't know, the fastener's it's gonna at least last. And the other thing is if the crushed stone is properly installed and level, you want to roll it before you put anything on it to make sure it's compressed. And, I mean, that's the foundation. I mean, I think 2x4 is pretty skimpy, but again, if it's on a solid surface. And it's pressure treated.
Yeah, but you could also get a couple pieces, fresh treated 2x8s, lay them flat and put it on top to get a little more stability.
And do that too.
Yeah. And here's my other consideration. I'd like to get this done before Paul retires. Because we have no idea who will replace Paul and what their relationship might be with the recycling committee. So right now, I think we have a very good working relationship with Paul and his staff. And I think now might be the time for us to move forward with a project like this, where we know that there's going to be some assistance.
Do you have a retirement?
I do. I'm thinking probably around September 1st of 25. So we have this summer, one more winter, hopefully, and then I'll be going. But that could be fluid too. I mean, nobody's trying to show me the door right now. That could change. We never know, but so as of that time, I'll be here for 30. It's a long time. Yeah, I mean, like Jim said,
Okay, I have 40.
if we establish it now, then it's an ongoing thing, whoever my replacement's gonna
Right.
be. I don't think anybody from in-house is gonna be. Kind of like the police station, they're gonna probably go outside. I've made my ideas known to the county board and administrator what they should do, but on one voice.
So that was just another consideration. Well, we have a good working relationship. I'd like to move forward, get this in place.
So what's the decision about the insulated bags? Because like you said, we're getting close to that
Okay, well,
time.
first, I think I need some kind of authorization and vote here as to whether or not to proceed down this path. I'm not gonna put any more time into it if that's not what the group wants to do, or they don't want to do it right now. Then we can move on to what we want to do budget-wise for the rest of this. We can operate on a calendar year versus a fiscal year. Because the money is there for us to use whenever we want. And I don't know about you, for me, it's easier to think calendar year than fiscal. So what's your pleasure?
So how do we need to vote on
Well,
something to?
do you want to go take a look at these sheds?
I do,
Should
well,
we look at
I
some
think,
other companies?
well, I think first of all, just make it a solid decision as to whether we're going to do it or not.
Okay.
Okay, once that decision is made, and I think we have, so pretty much made that decision, I think. Then, yeah, it's worth looking, taking the time. I mean, you know, we're not gonna go too far.
No.
You know, we're not gonna take a cross-country.
No, this
trip.
was just kind of the opening.
So, you
discussion.
know, and a field trip one day would be fine with me, you know, even if I have no other reason being. Well, I
What was
do-
the
I-
time, turnaround time we were talking?
She said right now it's about 5 weeks, but as they get into their busy season, it'll be longer. So, you know, I don't want that to make us rush into anything. I want to be sure that we're investing the money appropriately in something that's going to, you know, be worthwhile. We're a little tight on spending money.
I have a catalog on my desk. I should have brought it here that
Mhm.
has different items other than bags.
Uh-huh.
That's something this committee wants to look at. And I'm just sitting here thinking, when we got the grant from DEP for our Mercury shed that we got,
Mhm.
they had the shed vendor already lined up.
Mhm.
So they might have some vendors that they've used already
Mhm.
that are more local than this one in Connecticut. To see, when I call them, I'll see if they can give us a name. I can plus
Okay.
go up on the shed up there and see. I think there's a name on it. And what we did for that shed, instead of painting it, we stained it. Was that where they, as we know, staining was a lot more
Robust.
durable in this kind of weather, so we're not painting it every 5 years, 4 years.
It's a lot easier to apply to.
Right, we had, it was a solid colored stain. But I can
And
leave
we
this
could
here because I
probably
think it's
ask
copy.
them to do that, right? We could ask them. Whoever
we
we
could
get
do
the shed from to do it.
We could do it.
We could do, I mean, it's.
A gallon of stain is $20-30 in an hour.
Okay. I know, but it's requires people to give up their time and stuff to do that too. So,
What is that one?
This is the thing I got from DEP that telling us about different programs they're looking to fund with the MS stuff there, so. I know the SSRC is at the bottom one for the permanent household collection waste site,
mhm.
so I don't know if DEP is gonna offer that to our section again, since we.
Was this attached to that? It was? I remember seeing this.
Okay. I'll be sending it to you.
Can I go out and make a copy?
Yeah, why don't you?
We can have that copy if you want.
Well, but
Yeah,
we
but
want
so
to,
we
so
can
I make,
Yeah.
Share.
this is for us. I just have to make 3 more.
What did you have in mind that you thought would be a worthwhile handout with the bags, with the stickers?
Well, I saw the scrapers in there again,
Okay.
you know, and I'm not, I mean,
Oh, the food scrapers?
you know,
Oh, yeah, they're great.
I mean, they have all different types.
And they were very
Shots,
inexpensive.
spatulas, ladles, spoons, water bottle stuff, more bags, different types of bags.
Yeah. Everybody's got water bottles.
Yeah.
I've got probably 20 in my basement that I'm using. So I don't think I want to go down
That's
that.
becoming another hazardous waste.
It is, it is. There
Now, I
was
haven't
a-
heard much about people complaining about no bags in stores. I did see last week on social media, they were complaining about Walmart, but that's in Plymouth.
Can we look at it? So I copy it. Make a copy for you. People appreciate the bags. I mean, I know we use.
They did. And I'm surprised there were some people that didn't take them.
I see them with some regularity now around.
I wish they had stronger straps.
Really? You don't think the straps are strong? You have the insulated ones?
Yeah,
Huh.
but just a level of more stitching of reinforcement would be. I often had to look at, got milk and orange juice and whatever, and it filled in, just gonna carry it from the bottom. You don't necessarily trust that it's gonna hold all those
You know,
liquid.
yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I haven't had any issues with the straps. And I tend to load the thing up. No, put more in there. Huh? You want a bag? No, I don't want a bag. Put a sticker on it. I'll carry that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I see more people just going out to the car with stuff in their cart unbagged and when they
Yeah.
get to the car, they just throw it in. Well, that's better than them getting bags and,
Well, I mean, I use bags, but if I have a little surplus, then I do exactly the same
Yeah.
thing, because I usually have bags in the car. More bags than I will ever
Okay.
need.
so back to your point. Are we in agreement that we're gonna move forward with the swap shop?
Well, I agree. Gee,
Is that a yes or a no, or I
Um,
don't care? I don't know.
I'll
abstain.
abstain.
You'll abstain?
I-
You don't want to move forward with the swap shop?
Only if you can do it his way.
It's,
Go ahead. Okay,
Yeah,
I will
but-
move forward, and I think small, I mean, yeah, I would go up there on Wednesday mornings and spend most of my time reorganizing and trying to figure out ways to get stuff out of there to a more appropriate place. So, shelters or savers or the library or, or trash bins, all the stuffed animals up into the textiles. But I almost think to kids stuff. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. I saw you guys fishing old baby car seats out of the hard plastic. Like, I don't know where those go. I mean,
Trash.
savers won't take them, nobody will take,
Trash.
but there are a lot of hard plastic in them too.
Yes,
But I
they
don't know
are.
why they're not
Well, you know what? I
appropriate
think the
there.
ones I took had metal bases and the guys told me to put them in the metal bin. I think it depends on what they're made in. But
Well, you're not even supposed to reuse used car seats,
no,
which is another thing that
yeah.
if somebody
I mean, to
leaves
get
a
a
swap
list-
shop and somebody picks it up, is there any liability to the town of Kingston?
Yes, there is, and I don't want it.
No, they don't want it. There's something in there.
No.
But yeah, and most baby stuff, I mean, clothes are great to recycle for babies, but we don't want those, so we don't take that. Most of the toys, I wish there were a place that you could drop them, but, a lot of them are safety recall things that we don't know about. A lot of them are just pieces of
Right.
bigger whatever thing. I mean, it's almost like then you have there say, just post it on some Facebook. Somebody wants it, and you can say, I'll meet you at the transfer station to transfer it to your car, but don't leave it at the transfer station and don't whatever. But I almost feel like, kids stuff is so reusable and there are places that you can do that. But when I would be in that end of it, I would just be like, oh, gosh, can you do that? In games are only fun if all the pieces are there.
Right, same with puzzles.
Puzzles are only
Yep.
fun if all the pieces are there.
Right.
And the boxes would fall on the floor and then the pieces were all over and you didn't know what they went with and you just thought,
Well,
oh, this is such a
that's it.
losing.
That's another expense I think we would have to encourage to have some, couple different size plastic bags for puzzles specifically.
When they come in, but you
Yeah.
still have to know that they brought them in with all the pieces.
Yeah,
I
that's,
mean,
You don't know
I'm
that.
fanatical about that, but other
Right, you
people
don't
aren't.
know that, and you know what? It's free.
Up if you want to take it for free, that's what they.
Yeah, if you want to take a chance that it's only missing one or two pieces, then, I don't think we should ban puzzles simply because. they're
Maybe
missing
just big giant
pieces.
elastic bands that you can put around the box.
I'd rather put the pieces in a plastic bag myself. This way,
Inside
because-
the box. you put
Yeah,
the box
because you
in.
know what, those rubber bands come up. I did that with a few of the puzzles, and then the rubber band came, somebody wants to see.
What's
inside.
inside.
Yeah,
Well, they use the rubber band to grab something else together.
yeah. So, the rubber bands didn't do the job.
Well, I have tons in my basement of those plastic newspaper bags, and I will donate those. When you get the paper delivered, it's always in a plastic
Right.
bag.
Oh,
And they're great for like when I go out with the baby or whatever picnic, you throw all the, orange peels and the apple core and whatever till you get home and put it in the compost.
They're
You put
good
the
for
wet
dog
face
waste.
Floss.
They're very good for dog waste.
I'm
It's perfect for dog
Well,
waste.
that's something to do.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so to try and get us back on track.
I know, the next day she wrote.
um, At least three of us are in agreement. You're a little non-committed at the moment.
I'm not gonna vote against it. I'll let you guys do what you want, but for me, it's not enough bang for the buck. So to me, it's not worth it, but, so I'll just abstain.
So do we vote?
No,
No.
I don't have a
We
motion
need a
yet.
motion. I make a motion. Then I have to write it and talk to you.
so what are we motioning? I mean, I know.
To move forward
Pursue.
with a swap shop again. I think that's the general premise.
So I can second.
Oh, I said that?
that. You
Okay.
said you would make a
Vanessa.
motion.
Well, I told you we can't write and talk at the same time too.
Oh, well,
Ah! All right, my motion, does it have a second?
I just second.
Oh, I missed
You
some.
did.
I can't write and talk and listen.
Okay, so we'll take a formal vote. David,
I
Vanessa,
Aye.
Jean, abstain, and Jean, aye. So 3-1. Okay. So then the next step would be to perhaps do site visits, look at sheds, get some other ideas on sheds.
be interested to see this.
Okay, so now we're on to tchotchkes for stickers. What do we want to do? We know the bags were what, about $10 a piece. And then there's significant shipping on top of that. So we purchased, I think, either 1,000 or 1,500 bags last year, and it was $10,000.
That was for the insulated ones.
Or we could go with the scrapers, which were, I think, $1 or $2 a piece.
The, it's hard to know how successful the bags are or have been. Largely because you'd have to be, someone would have to stake out each of the supermarkets to see how.
Well, there you go, David. There's retirement.
Yeah.
Shops along.
I'm getting ready to retire, period.
Period, okay.
And hopefully not this morning. I just, what I'm getting at is, it's a lot of money,
It is.
and, I like the idea. I mean, I have 3 of them, and I use them all the time,
I do too.
and they fold up nicely, and just, and they're easier to carry than a canvas bag. Although I have plenty of those too. So I don't know, I have a mixed feeling about them. I just think that it's a big expenditure. And can we-
I didn't know that. I guess I knew that, but forgot $10 bags.
Yeah.
A lot.
How about non-insulated ones?
Well, there's obviously relatively cheaper. The thing I don't like about them is that they're very difficult to work with. I've got a bunch of those too. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm at the self-checkout, trying to put stuff in and they
Yeah.
keep falling apart, falling over on each other.
No, I like the insulated bags. They are more convenient, plus they're insulated. Which is
I like these kind of bags. That I just keep in my purse all the time. Is there another one too? And then when I forgot my bag, I can just whip out my bag.
Yeah, and you get a
I
bag.
mean, I don't know what those cost to do, but oh, here's my bag, just put it right in there. For those like, oh, I just ran into the hardware store and I ended up picking up more than the one thing I thought I was gonna get. Oh, wait, I have a bag in my bag.
Where did you get those and do you know how much they cost?
I don't know right
I'm
now.
gonna go to the office. I'm gonna come over and pick up some stuff. I'm gonna have them bring over that catalog so you guys can have it and they can look at that while you're meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you so
Well,
much.
that's the Zoom meeting.
All right.
Got a lot of ideas in it.
I have a collection of bags that I keep in my, I'll be right back, because I also wanted to show you the insulated bag that I got from Children's Hospital for giving blood.
Well, if you just wanna stand outside, I can run it over to you.
All right. Don't make any notes while I'm gone or somebody write them down.
Okay. I knew the little scrapers were useful. I mean, I still have mine. The only thing is the handle doesn't melt.
You gotta keep it away from the stove.
Yeah,
I've learned that the hard way too. I've got one that handle, I don't know how it got broken. I had 2 of them. One,
The
the
handle
handles
broke.
broke, yeah.
you must have really been whipping up something
I don't know.
heavy.
If you were around me earlier today, you'd want to leave the house. The poor dog went to hide. I lost it. I was looking at, yeah. Caraway seeds. Why can you not find caraway seeds? Doesn't anyone ever use caraway seeds?
No, because it tastes awful. Don't tell me you make an Irish soda bread.
Yes,
Oh.
I make it, a couple
Gaggy?
of times a year.
Is
and
it gaggy?
And what?
Gaggy?
What's gaggy?
So dry and
No.
Yeah.
And I have, no,
Tasteless.
I actually mailed them to friends.
well, we are being
With jam.
recorded, so I guess we should.
I had a roommate
Mhm.
when I was going to college and I baked a, cast iron thing. Soda bread. It was about that diameter,
Wow,
like that.
wow.
It was the old family way. And so I left it on, I cooked it, left it on the kitchen table to cool. Took it out of the, went to school. Came back in the middle of the afternoon. Looked over and half it's gone. And a jar of jam. With a note. My roommate was a dance major, so he was always very concerned about weight.
Yeah,
Well, when he got home, and it was butter. And so when he got home, some point after class or something, it was still warm.
Mm.
And he said, it was still warm. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. So I sent him a loaf of Irish bread every year.
Nice.
I sent it overnight, so it gets there on St. Patrick's Day.
Nice.
And I always get a phone call. And he's got two older sisters. Well, he's now 84, so I don't know what his sisters are. He looks after his two older
Oh my
sisters.
goodness.
He's retired. He ended up at Duke University. He started a dance program.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago that he retired from that.
Are there any Irish bakeries around here that would have caraway seed?
No, not immediate.
No.
I was telling Gene earlier, I still have a bunch of stuff leaving around from the restaurant because of large packages. And I mixed everything together. I messed up. Anyway. And I get the caraway out, measuring the caraway seeds, and I'm going, one's kind of dangling here and there.
You had
And I said,
mealy bugs.
Yeah, fruit moths.
Yeah.
And they can get into anything. I mean, it's just,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, you can't keep a lot of that.
So I had to
stuff.
throw away,
Everything.
all my flour and
So what do you guys think? Do we want to go with something a little less expensive than the bags? Or do we want to go, I mean, we're sitting on $24,000. They do want us to use the money. They don't want us to sit on it.
I like the bags. I mean, I really do. I like the insulated bags. I just wonder if we're getting the bang for the buck though.
Mhm,
And that's kind of what I was getting at. I mean, I see them,
mhm.
I see them in Market Basket. I see them, I don't go to Stop and Shop very often. So I don't know if it's obviously not aware of that. I see them in the big one.
Yeah, makes my heart glad when I see somebody wheeling out.
And I see them with some regularity, but not everybody. See. Well, I can go to the store often.
Well, we sell what, over 3,000 stickers, so we handed out what, 1,000 last year? There she is.
Here's the catalog. Okay. Yeah, so this is the one. But yours are $10. I can't imagine what that one cost.
And it does have a zipper, but it has a different kind of zipper. It's a zipper that closes,
Oh,
but, it's an A shape.
Oh, yeah, it's a little more convenient.
Then ours, you think?
Yeah.
With this.
Yeah,
Then you
let-
reduce your capacity.
Well, yeah, that's a negative as far
Yeah,
as
you
I'm
reduce your
concerned. Yeah.
capacity.
So these were Hannaford way back. Which again, it doesn't fit in my purse, but I can move the seat back.
It folds up pretty nice.
And then you've got, and it's very cheap,
Mhm.
but like I said. You
Yeah, I
can get
mean-
really good quality. So I also have denim, the canvas bags.
Yeah,
that-
we've done those similar
Yeah,
in the past, and they're maybe $4.
But banks tend to do these. I think I have some that are Eastern Bank ones
Mhm.
that when they
That you
have
get
their.
free. so you-
Yeah,
you
so
don't
you're
think
free.
you purchase
Also, we
it.
had a Rockland Trust as a shredding day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know how frequently, but then they had these that they were giving away.
And they're just a little reusable bag.
Yeah, and that's a stuff sack one that, again, you can stash them and then use them and then just quickly, so those were from the Rockland Trust. These I think were from Target. I wouldn't recommend those. But these, like I said, these I just find I can stick them anywhere.
Right.
And as long as there's one on me or two on me,
Yeah.
you know, I go to the library and I get too many books, let me just throw them in my bag and. So, lots of, you know, if we didn't go with the insulated, again, I think the convenience, the other thing that's really useful. It's here, is these kinds of things so that you're not always having to take all
Oh,
of
right.
their other
Oh,
plastic
yeah.
bags, although I think it's interesting because now Trader Joe's is doing the compostable bags. For their plastic bags.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
when
Yeah,
I get those home, I can.
I bought a
put
bunch
the
of
yucky
these, but
stuff
I
into
never,
my-
I never remembered to throw them in my bag to take them into. the
Yeah, you
store.
and me both. I got a bunch of money.
And I've even repurposed some of the, you know, like other things come in packaged, whatever
Mhm.
thing, and I think, oh, those could be fruit ones and vegetable ones
Oh,
too.
right.
But anyways, you know, so if people kind of are using those or are done using them, whatever, some other little like
Yeah, the other thing,
convenience.
the other thing that's nice about this is that, you know, we have, you know, Kingston recycles and it's
Yeah.
highly visible, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because it's
It's kind of a reminder.
well, that's exactly right.
I went back to you when I go back.
All right, well, like I say, if we're gonna go with the bags, we pretty much have to decide that today, because I've got to get the order
Right.
in order to have them in time. We're gonna go with something else.
They have those here, looks like. I would really like the idea of those because I always forget every single
Oh, the
time.
little ones.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're just, you have to remember to roll them back up and put them back. But like I said, I sort of have them cycling through different places. Guys don't, I try to get I got my dad finally to carry like a carrier,
Mhm.
you know, messenger bag thing so that he's got his handicap placard if he's coming to my
Yeah,
car.
you know what? Guess what? I just had that conversation with my wife. I said, I need a bag.
Yeah, and so to find one that's kind of a manly man that, you know, sometimes it's a crossover because you don't want it. I don't want to carry things in my hands. I came across this at a free sale and I've gotten so many compliments on it. When I've got the baby
Yeah, I
like
mean,
this, but I have my bags, I have a pen, I have asthma, I have an inhaler, I have,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think in Europe, they've already figured it out. They wear tight pants, so you can't put anything in the pockets anyways. And so they always have a bag. And I just, you know, with my husband, every time we're somewhere, because he can't find his phone, because he can't sit down if he has his phone in his pocket. You know, so we're trying to buy vests but in a bag doesn't help at home. I still have to keep moving my phone with me, but when I'm out, I know where it is, you know?
I was working at a backpack. I had everything I could ever need in my backpack and it was always with me.
Was it a weekender? You could take off, take a trip to?
It's just like a small, regular.
I'm teasing.
So there are a few other shopping bags here. In fact, there's quite a few. Quite a few. Now they have an insulated grocery tote. It does say it has a zipper closure. I'm trying to see where it is. Unless it's like that.
That's
And
what I got for donating blood for.
they are, if you order 2,500, they're $3.59 each. Let's see what other, yeah, that really,
Those are $10. Oh, because of the logo. That's probably what throws it.
no, I mean, here the imprinting is $48. And, you know, with ours, there is a cost for the printing, but, they already have the logo design and everything. And we've got a lot of different, types of bags here. They've got, it's called a retro insulated bag.
Retro.
Paper,
It's
plastic
retro.
paper bag, look, insulated, keep your food cold, 50% recycled materials, hook and loop closure, durable 20-inch handles. And those are $3.59 for, at, if you order 2,500. I mean, these certainly look like they're a little less expensive. Now, I don't know what
But
the,
then you don't know the quality.
we don't know the quality. You know,
Does this have a tag if you leave it?
yeah, the one nice thing was they were willing to send me samples from the place I've been ordering, so I could
So this
come
one,
and show you.
so we do that company, the bag maker.
Made in China.
Recycle, reduce, reuse, bag makers with a big star.
It'd be nice to find one that's not made in China.
We're really big into that production, aren't we?
They have one here, it's an ocean plastic shopper. It's made from 100% recycled ocean plastic.
People don't. tend to use
But
plastic.
this one is $6.29 a piece if you order 2,500.
It's $6. Well.
It says it
maybe about that.
removes 3 water bottles from the ocean. Recycling facts on sides, holds to store. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Which is the green, ocean plastic.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to do a little research here and figure out total costs and processing time? I don't have to wait for the next meeting
To do that.
to get that information to you. I can do it and get it to you.
Do you want to do a third insulated, third the little roll-up pocket bag, and a third the ocean? Like get
You give people a
5,
choice.
yeah, and let
Then
them
they'll-
choose. And
Glad
then we'll have a sense of what's
Yeah,
gonna be in
people-
demand too. Or that'll be more of a pain for you though, right?
Well, more for Lynn.
Yeah, I just gotta have 3 boxes on the floor and somebody
Right.
can post it up somewhere.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I mean, the little roll-up one that you pointed out looked nice too, and that was very inexpensive. So maybe that's what we do this
I
year.
don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because I just wonder how much use they're gonna get. You know, I hear what you're dedicated to
So
this,
no, I am, I'm a die.
you know, which is terrific.
Mhm.
And it's important, but it's, most people aren't, and they're not going to, they're not gonna get there. Unfortunately, they might make an attempt. I like the, the insulated bag, I think has a lot of merit. And I just,
But it's big and bulky and you have to be intentional to carry it.
well, true,
Well,
but
yes,
if
you
you,
do.
yeah.
You know,
well,
I
that's
just keep
true.
them in the car, and when I get out, I grab 2 or 3, whatever I need.
Yeah, I mean, I've always got, I've sometimes more bags in the car than was like, I need more, get the
Yeah, we
bags out
always
of
have
the
a
car.
bag of bags, like, this is my little bags, but I always have a big canvas LLB one that's.
So, Jean, your thoughts?
He said 3 different, he wanted the variety,
You were looking for variety.
just to see what
I'm
the
just
population. does.
Trying to
It's kind of a survey. He
compromise
wants a
things.
survey. Which would you like? Or I don't know.
And I like the little spatula too, but I find it
I don't
extremely.
know. What is the stuff?
It's about that, it's, this,
JavaScript.
like the rubber or plastic spatula you might have, some end of a stick, if you will, plastic. It's, flexible, right? A lot of the newer ones are silicone, so they don't know whatever, I mean, what material is, I think that's what it is. But these were, about so long. And just a little tiny handle, a couple of, maybe twice the size of my finger in dimension. And they just convenient in the end, was, the actual spatula was about this big.
Small.
And like that, and they're terrific for jars, and I use them all the time.
Yeah.
To
I do too.
trying to get the last little bit of jelly out of the thing or
And-
to clean it before you put it in the recycling.
And-
If you scrape that and give it a rinse, it's like spotless, so.
I mean, if one were to take it home, you don't really look at it all the time relative to, oh, this is, from the town. But it's there, and it is a little bit of a reminder. Remember when you
Yeah,
can't help.
because we put something on there.
And
that
it's,
kids
yeah,
are
it says Kingston,
recycled.
Kingston Recycle.
That sounds like a good way to go. I mean, because my concern with these is when the handle breaks. I'm
It's,
throwing it
it's
away.
it's history,
Yeah.
yeah,
More trash.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that sounds like a little amount. I mean, if you don't want it, put it in the swap shop.
But it
or give
has,
to
yeah,
somebody
but
else,
it has,
but
va-
but it's not gonna fill the ocean.
it has valuable function.
Yeah.
it does.
It really does.
I think about that with different conferences and the gugas that they give you. And one of the ones that I still have that I've often thought is emery board. You
Yes.
know, if you're gonna give me some
Oh.
kind of a guga, put your name on an emery board,
Yes.
because when you need one, you need one. So you stick them all over the place, and every time you think,
Oh,
oh, this
yeah,
person
they're great.
decided that was the junk they were gonna give me.
I don't see them often. Whenever I see one, I'll take that one.
The other
So-
thing is, so my San Diego hotel, when you checked in, they gave you a voucher to go down to the cantina and get one of these. And then every floor had them all over the walls to refill it the whole time we were staying there for the convention. or in the
Nice,
hotel.
nice, nice.
So, that's just another sort of in that piece of, again, people probably do quite quickly. I mean, if you put something other than water in it, it doesn't really clean out well, so then you've got a stink or you get mold in
Right,
it.
it's
all
water,
done.
it's
So,
water based.
But I think the scraper for a change, and people come
We
to
haven't
Lynn
done
and
that in
say,
a while.
don't you have
That's
bags,
true.
don't
We
you have
can, we
bags?
can revisit the bag thing next year.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, see how much, she can keep a little tally sheet, how many times people ask, but don't you have a bag? So we know that it was really a hot item. But
Well, I
if
know
people
Paul
walk
said
away,
they
don't
were
even
getting
take them.
questions.
Well, and when they ran
About the
out,
bags?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they, yeah,
well, because it was for the first, whatever.
yeah,
they ordered
1,000,
200,
I think we only bought 1,000 or 1,200. It
And then
was,
they ran out and then people were going, do I get my bag? Well, you have to come earlier next year.
but
Oh.
the scrapers, we could make sure that there's adequate numbers. If we order 4,000, then we would have some to hand out, say like at the agricultural fair or whatever. What do you think? Because
Yeah,
I think they
those-
were only a couple bucks, if that.
Yeah, which is way better than $10.
Yeah, so 4,000 it would be, we're probably still looking at 8,000. But we've got the money, do we have another project that we want to put that money into? That's really what I'm
Yeah, I got it.
trying to
Yes.
figure out here.
I don't know. I mean, if we're gonna pursue the swap shop shed,
Mhm.
we don't want to compromise too much.
Yeah, we've got 24,000. If we get a grant,
If-
yeah, let's say the shed costs 10,
Okay.
we get a grant for 6, that's 4,000,
So-
we're still sitting on 20.
I would like, I haven't talked with Gene, we met in January, and he was gonna follow up with his people, and in January he reported, although I noticed I didn't put any of that in the minutes, nobody contested it, but I don't know what more you've heard, but I think Gene was like, they were all set, they all had bins, they had whatever, I don't know if they survived COVID. So if we're really gonna establish with the school again, we may need some budget to get
Oh, no,
supplies out there and
no,
stuff,
we
so
would not be paying for the school town.
recycle bins or
Yeah.
carts or
Yeah, I don't
signage
think
or any
so.
of that stuff, they would.
I don't think so. I think they've got money.
I don't know, they're always asking for more.
Yes, I know. Their budget, initial budget
If-
was pretty high.
Going back to a comment that was made earlier about doing a couple of different things and then I guess the person, and I don't know, I can't remember names, but the person who has to in town, the town worker, employee.
Lynn?
Yeah, you say, well, you don't want to give her too many things to do. Is that who we were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, the one,
Okay,
because they
in
always sell the
Paul's
tickets,
office.
the transfer
The
stickers
stickers.
at the window.
Oh, okay.
And so at the window, you have to fill out your stuff, write your check, they have to give you, check it all
Right.
out. check
So that,
IDs.
I'm.
And so now we're saying,
Right.
oh, do you want this, or this?
No, yeah. no,
And they
guess
go, I want all
that's,
three. Oh, that makes the interaction so much longer.
Yeah.
It does, and the
Yeah,
other thing is
I
that
think
We
like,
one
can
easy-
put the sample on the outside. and
No, I
say,
think
pick
one easy
one.
thing, there
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
This
you
is what
want
we're
it or you
giving out
don't want
this
it,
year.
there you go.
Yeah, if you don't want it, that's all right. Anything we,
I mean, that's the only,
Yeah.
that's the best time to do it, obviously, for just
I
distribution.
think so.
Because I started thinking, well, if we did two things and we split the year, but then again,
When are you gonna do it?
yeah, when are you gonna do it?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you
Yeah, I
doing
think
the-
that's
is-
really the,
I mean, you could do it at the agricultural fair, I'm assuming that, are you gonna put effort into that again this year?
probably, we'll see.
I will try to not be out of town. I'm sorry I missed that.
Just a reminder, the Agricultural Commission is sponsoring a program on maple syrup next Tuesday night at the Council on
Oh, yeah,
Aging at 7.
Do you know if there's like I would bring my grandson who's 9, but not if it's not gonna talk to him.
No, it's for all ages. If
It
you-
will
If
be,
you look
so-
at the flyer, it's for all
But I just wanted to
ages.
confirm that because we tend to have a very old audience.
Yeah, no,
It's on
Yeah.
It's Tuesday,
Tuesday at 7,
next week.
next week,
Yeah.
the
I
19th.
have, I left it on the computer, so I wouldn't forget,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I have scraps of paper all over the house and I can never find one.
Yeah, so we have president of the Adirondack Forest Association coming from New York's to do the presentation. He does maple syrup himself. And,
Is he gonna bring some to some?
no.
We've been
That's
in
good.
the sugar bush.
I'm almost out of maple syrups.
Is he gonna bring some to sell?
I don't
That's
know.
what
It's
they
a
said.
long time of the season to try and get it right now. Stock
Yeah, I
is
mean,
really low at
they're
this point.
in the middle of maple, gathering the syrup, not the syrup, but the
Sap.
sap. Yeah. So just as an aside,
So
so
are these the scrapers? Okay.
yes, very similar, very similar.
So theirs are 71 cents. Well, that was for 5,000. 2,500, 73 cents.
Yeah, so they're not that expensive. They really aren't, but then we do have something printed on them. I think that message has to be there. So there is an additional cost for that.
Do you want to vote to get the scrapers? And
Make a motion,
Oh, hang on, I gotta write.
make a motion, let's see where it goes.
I would like to make a motion to get how many stickers?
They sell over 3,000, and so I was thinking we would order maybe for 3,500 or 4,000, so that we would have some for like the fair or wherever else we
Okay.
might find ourselves, being able to hand them out.
And make a motion that we purchase 4,000 scrapers to give away.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Take a vote. Jean,
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Vanessa?
Hi.
Jean, aye. 4-0. Okay.
Do we want to do bags too? Or is it?
That would take up a significant amount of money, and I'm not sure we're set on what kind of bag we wanna, this would give us a little time to think about, do we wanna, what kind of bag do we wanna?
Yeah, I don't need to think about it. If we're gonna do bags, like, I just gonna do the bags, the kind of bags that we have.
Okay, but here, we do have some other options
Yeah,
that are. seem to be a little
understand
less.
that.
I think we go with the scrapers, and if people scream that they didn't get a bag, we've gotten feedback that we're looking for because we don't have that feedback. Another one I think going down the road is the chip bag or whatever
Oh, yeah, yeah.
bag clippers,
They're great.
which they don't last forever, but every time you take it out and use it, you go, oh, yeah, I remember that. We use those a lot for
Okay,
sealing up cereal and everything, and so there's in the drawer right there.
yeah, the
That's
smaller
just
ones are better, but those, like these.
Well, those are the magnet ones that go on the fridge.
Yeah, but they have them that aren't magnets, but they're more substantial. These I find break very easily.
Yeah, I've gone through a few of those. And then I've had some that last a long time. I don't know if there's manufacturer names on them, but.
All right, moving right along.
I know, here we go.
On our, just updating the collection pilot, Paul informed me
We're
that
up to item 4.
the collect guys have been coming without the key, so he's had to go down there to unlock the gate. And he has notified Black Earth that he can't continue doing that, that they're gonna have to remember to bring the key. So I called him and I said, Paul, what about a combination lock for the gate? And all you have to do is give them the combination. So there's no keys for anyone. You know, you just put a combo from there. And he said, well, it has to be weatherproof. I said, yeah. So I found one for less than $10 at Lowe's. It's weatherproof. It's he was gonna call Hanover Law to see what they had. I don't think it has to be anything
Well, I don't.
too substantial, but.
But the other thing is those realtor boxes that then you hang there and you know the combination, but we can change it, because the problem is,
Right.
you get a combination lock, word gets out, now you gotta buy another combination, you know, and so you say quarterly, we're gonna be replacing.
Ones that you can reset the combo. Yeah.
As long as someone doesn't do it, nobody can do it.
You know what? If somebody wants to walk in there, they can walk in there. It's just a matter of getting a vehicle in there, and then the gate obstructs. You can walk in there easily. It's not, it's just.
So you did pick up the lock and it's there.
Pardon?
You did pick up a lock and you put it over there already, or no?
No, this is the gate going into the,
Right, so you're
Transfer
proposing
station.
this to,
Right,
Okay.
because they were having a problem
right, I know, so I just want to know what
With
stage we were at
Blackbird
in the process.
bringing their key. And I said, let's eliminate the key. Which is why I was saying about swap shop. Let's not have a key that somebody has to have and somebody can lose or duplicate or whatever. Let's just have a combo lock.
how many times have they not picked up on the schedule?
Oh, they probably did, they just make Paul go down there and open
Yeah.
it.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course, I'm
they,
sorry.
I mean, they've notified him when they can't get there on a Friday. And then that works better if they come on Saturday because it's already open. It's just that normally they have their trucks down here on Friday, because Paul did pursue that. Is there an alternate date they could pick it up? And he said, no, they're only down here on Fridays. So he said, let's just do a combo loan. So I don't know where he stands on that. So that was my most recent Black Earth update.
But wait, so where is this at? You've proposed this to Paul, and it hasn't changed yet, or it has?
He and I just talked about last week, and he's gonna call Hanover Lock and see what they have available.
Okay, so he's gonna call, okay.
Yeah. And they've been sending their monthly bill, and I've been authorizing payment of the bill. Okay, hand sanitizer. I sent you guys, did I send you the information
About prices, yeah.
on prices? So the dispenser itself is $31. She said it has a peel off backplate type installation, but it also has holes in the back where you could just screw it
It's
into.
gonna have to be screwed.
That's what I think.
So this is
They-
what they had at the San Diego Zoo.
Okay,
I have a side.
so
picture of it, too.
it's Scott.
Well, they did Scott, but it's just the idea that it's a 4x4 pressure treated that you attach it to
Yeah.
and stick in the ground far
Can
enough that it
you
won't
send
out.
that picture to me,
Yeah.
please? I like that.
Yeah, that works. The thing is that could be part of the enclosure.
Right.
You can show it to him if he wants to see it. I gotta touch it though, or something will disappear.
It's just a-
Right, I'll send that to you, Jim.
Okay.
I'll send them over to you.
In fact, it should be just. part-
So then on the bottles, there are 4 bottles in each case. It's priced per bottle at $28
For,
per bottle.
it's $100 for case.
So it's 100,
Round numbers, it's 100.
it's 112, and then if you add in the dispenser, it's 31, so a total of $143. It requires 3 C batteries. to
That's all
operate.
right.
You just wave your hand under it, but it's
Yeah.
gonna have some mechanism.
Oh,
Yeah,
Why can't we just, oh, because you're afraid it will break if we have a crazy thing?
well, and do we want people touching?
no.
Yeah, I think just.
If they feel the need to do it, sometimes the need is getting rid of the crap that's in.
I know. So that's why I'm thinking, we'll go with
The
one.
residue.
Battery operated, put your hand under, you're done. Okay, the only thing is, we'll have to kind of keep an eye on the dispenser, make sure it's working and that the bottle is full and replacing the bottle. Okay. That's the only, so what do you
So
think?
you want to make a motion to? I'd
Motion
like to
away.
Make a motion to purchase a hand sanitizer. Equipment and refills.
And we'll just need some assistance getting his installed.
Oh, I just sent you a message.
Yeah, that's you, yeah. Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a second. Any discussion?
The only discussion is where we're gonna keep the
Refill.
refill.
Probably in my basement.
In the swap shop.
We could, I mean, once we have a swap out, we could always keep it there, but for now, my basement.
Well, you can keep one, I think.
So we want the swap shop to have a closet. That we can lock, so people don't take that home as an item at the swap shop.
Well, if we- when we get that far, yes, there has to
Yeah.
be something.
Let us tell you about our original scraper purchase. We had a room in that trailer, the swap shop trailer. Didn't have a lock on it, but it had a door, and it said private or something. Well, and we also had the T-shirts. that they
T-shirts,
made
that's right.
for Earth Day.
Somebody's got 5 million T-shirts that say whatever.
Kingston Recycles or something, and they took what was left of all of our scrapers. John asked me what they do with them.
T-shirts. And
They
you know,
took the T-shirts and the scrapers. Yeah, so then we put a lock on the door. It's like, really?
after the horse left.
Yeah.
Really? You would take our T-shirts and our scrapers?
There was somebody, I think there was somebody just maybe a little bit.
They would do it. I mean, if you homeless and you need a shirt, fine, take the shirt. But I know you can't.
I have
use a
never,
couple hundred
I have
scrapers.
never seen anybody wear any of those T-shirts.
I haven't either.
I have
haven't
2 of
either.
them.
Yeah.
And I do use them. Never
All right,
they
so
are
we have
wearing-
a motion to purchase the hand sanitizer and the refills, and we had a second.
Oh, no discussion.
Anything else?
Well, wait, do we want to put the price in it or not? We don't care.
Up to $150. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Or should we make it 200 just in case?
Just, yeah, do 200,
200,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll spend 150.
Yeah.
That's it.
I won't spend any
Then
more.
we, then,
any
then we
more
can,
than we
yeah,
have
then
to.
we can abscond $50. and
There we
have a
go,
cocktail.
yeah. And, that'll cover
Shouldn't-
the
that's not Funny, you
batteries.
can't say stuff like that anymore, can you? So people-
Well, it'll cover, we're gonna need to purchase some screws, put it in, and we're gonna need the batteries.
So we're gonna need the post. Oh, no, you said we'll put it on the post we have.
Yeah.
Well, when we build the
When we build a permit.
enclosure, yes, we'll have a longer one that we
Yeah.
can put the hands in.
So we
I'm
don't like,
so glad it's on the pavement now. That was such a smooth move. Thank you so much.
I really like that dog kennel thing that we have for the tanks,
For what?
for,
For the propane?
to contain.
Yes.
Like,
Chain
yeah,
link, but they
It's
lock
like-
those in, don't they? Or
Well,
that doesn't close.
well, I mean,
So what are you thinking? A 3-sided chain link fence?
well,
for it?
just exactly what they have for the propane tanks.
Hmm.
It's like a chain link fence and
It's a
it's at
cage.
least 3 sides
It's a
and
cage.
has a top over it. It would just keep it contained. And then
It's
we'd
not
have,
contained in. I don't
well,
want
it's a
to
couple
put,
of pallets.
then we're talking about infrastructure. Permanent infrastructure to do something like that. Whereas
You
what
can
we-
just drag that one. All right, never mind.
Well, and we're still really, until we can kind of find a break-even point or something, I think we're
Yeah.
still in a trial period.
Because at this
Gee.
point, I'd like to get more people,
Gee, we're gonna buy real wood.
real wood.
Yeah, real posts, like 4x4.
We can't
pressure
get the
treated.
guys to fish it out of construction.
No.
Well, they
haven't found any.
did, well, they did with the pallets. The pallets are working, they're working.
It's
But
working. Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Purchase hand sanitizer refills and an attendant. How do we say that? And necessary hardware, et cetera.
Oh, can we just assume that's part of it? Purchase hand sanitizer, equipment,
And accessories.
and refills up to $200 is what I wrote. If you want me to change it, I will.
And accessories. That includes the
Refills
screws and the batteries. Okay, that way we're covered. Okay. So who made the original motion?
I did.
Are you okay with that amendment? All right,
I'll second.
voting.
Aye.
Aye, 4-0.
We're gonna have to bring you out of here pretty quickly, so.
We're gonna make our meetings smarter. We must miss each other.
There's so much to talk about.
I know, we
You know,
really
that's
miss each
the,
other.
that's the issue. We've
But I
got
kind of wish we could make a rule that if it goes too long, we just have to schedule a second meeting.
Well, there's that. Okay,
Can I say a few words about the school thing?
I sure. Go for it.
So I reached out to Mrs. McCartney and she said she was gonna she's on the building committee and they said yay. And she wants to have a conversation with principal. I asked her, I said, well, we would be glad to, come and support that conversation. And what I did was I looked up, like, originally when I applied for the grant for $30,000 for the school district, what I did was went to each of the PTO and to the school committee, because there's 6 schools, 3 towns, and the Silver Lake Regional School District is over it all. So Silver Lake Regional School District recycling material policy. So that was part of the to get the grant. So this is what I have from the Kingston School Department and the Silver Lake Regional School District. So they have a policy set up to mandate recycling. And this is the Kingston General Bylaw, Chapter 8, Section 1, Mandatory Recycling Bylaw, Public Health and Sanitation, blah, blah, blah. So what I did was so there's
But
that.
Jane, all it says is all residents of the town using the Cranberry Road Municipal Landfill and Transfer Station shall be required to recycle. Da, 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 da. So it's only the people who use the transfer station that this bylaw applies to.
And how does it cover the private haulers
There's a separate private hauler regulation.
that has it in it?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I can just dovetail with what you're talking about here. I had this on the agenda for us to take a look at this and see if we want to have an expanded bylaw that requires all residents to recycle.
I'm certainly not opposed to it. But good
Well,
luck.
I think this covers it. Massachusetts CRM, that stands for Code of Massachusetts Regulation 310.
It only applies to certain items, like right now, they've included the textiles. And there's just a few categories that are mandatory recycling.
It's already listed. So
So there's nothing in town that requires everyone to recycle. There's nothing statewide that requires everyone to recycle every possible item. It's very limited. Because I was going to propose. Well, I was looking at our bylaw, and I wanted to know if the state had something that overrode our bylaw. And I talked with Todd, and he goes, no, it's just limited to certain items as the state has declared have to be recycled. It doesn't apply to the majority of things that we recycle. So that was on the agenda for us to talk about whether or not we want to propose a bylaw to require recycling
This
of all residents.
aluminum containers, metal or glass containers, single-use plastic, recycling paper.
What does that come to? Yeah, okay.
But there are other items we need to vote on today before David
Probably,
leaves.
You know, that's why I said, you know, we have a full agenda today and we haven't gotten even to half of it. So
Can we reschedule? I mean, can we schedule? today
I'm
again?
thinking we're gonna have to
I
have
like
another
that.
meeting.
Just,
Well, let's do
Get
that, but I do have to
everybody
go.
I know, and it's after 11. We've been here for 2 hours and I still have the majority of my folder to go through. We just haven't gotten to it. No, I'm not criticizing any of the discussion we had. I think it was important and necessary. It's just we have a lot to look at right now, which I think is a good thing. You know, we've got a lot going on. There's a lot in the recycling area to focus on. So, and I'm not trying to cut your report short.
No.
But I would like to give it its due.
Yes,
So if we could start out with that at the next meeting.
Okay.
Because I think it's really important that we get the schools, like,
yeah.
know where the schools are,
This
make sure
is
they're. on
important to
board.
me, and so
Yeah, so,
I'm full right now.
so I would like to start with that at our next meeting. So can we meet in 2 weeks if this room is available?
do we need to go to, can we meet earlier than that?
When did you want to meet?
I can meet, well, I can't meet anytime, but I can, I can certainly, I don't need to wait 2 weeks.
I'm in the same boat.
Both of the next Tuesdays work for me, the 19th or the 26th.
I think I would rather go to the 26th if we could.
What day of the week is that?
So it's a
These are both
Tuesday.
Tuesdays we're talking about. so-
Yeah, I
so
think
we
the
do the
20,
same.
yeah, I have to check my calendar at home. But I think the 26th is probably. good.
Okay. Because there are a lot of important things for us to look at and I don't want to rush through them or put them off another month. I really don't.
So 9 a.m. and you'll find us a room.
Yeah, hopefully this room will be available. There aren't a lot of people that meet during the day. So we have that advantage.
And even if we have to, well, I guess there aren't many more rooms, but I bet 300 is not used.
200. Yeah, yeah,
500.
yeah. It's just that you can't really record in there.
Oh.
You know, that's set up for PAC to do their recording. So it's either here or 101. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Hi.
4-0. It is 11:08.